Hi guys, Luca here from Sabre Airsoft with another video, and this is a bit of a different introduction, isn't it? Normally, I'll show it fully assembled, then show it taken apart, but not this time. Mostly because once I put this back together, I don't want to take it apart again. So this, in front of you right now, is a bit of a rare item. This is the RWA Lee Enfield No.4. And it's rare because I don't think there was a huge amount made, but also because no one bought them because they were just terrible. Absolutely awful. They got lots of things wrong. The trigger is slightly wrong shape, the stock, the butt plate is all wrong, some of the screws are wrong, and for World War II enthusiasts, accuracy on the appearance is important. And with the Lee Enfield in particular, for myself, the Lee Enfield was the very first full-bore rifle that I ever fired, and that was when I was at uni and I was part of the rifle club. Absolutely brilliant weapon, absolutely brilliant. But in this case, the problem is a myriad of issues. It wasn't feeding, the bolt was hard to pull, and that's as far as I knew because I just couldn't test it because of the other problems. The thing that was actually causing it not to feed was this. I have already changed it slightly, and I'm unsure if this is going to work. It may very well cause the ammo to fall out of the barrel backwards rather than be pressed and held in place. But the end of this spring, which was this small piece here, was essentially straight like this, which is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to sit on there like that. Oh, obviously still connected.
Okay, Paslika, I'm just going to stop you there. That ball bearing is not supposed to be in there. Get rid of it. I realised this later, but past me is an idiot. We'll sort it after in the next video. Sorry.
With that ball bearing in the middle. And what this does, this is what's a bit interesting about this one, is rather than say in like Attack 41, where the feed ramp will basically fill with BBs, stop them falling out, and then you keep topping up, and there'll always be that sort of 10 or so in the feed ramp. The way this one works is this rod here is connected to the bolt via this arm here. And as you pull the bolt back, it pulls this backwards as well and clears in front of the feed where the feed tube is. That obviously sends BBs up, right? It's still going to have that tube, I believe, which is what this bolted tent there is for. So BBs come up, it may get stuck here or not be able to get past that. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I think actually it does hold in this open area here. Then when you push the bolt forward, that strips that from the top, pushes it up through this hole, and you can hear how it bounces and how it might have got stuck through there. Oh, see if I can pull it back a second. And then, there it is, behind me, into this hole, which also has this O-ring here. So what happened was this got stuck in there, because it presses it, I believe, up against the top of the barrel there, before the nozzle pushes it into the hop unit. And what I think happened was there was no ammo and it managed to get stuck, and repeatedly pulling it in and out, in and out, in and out, basically mashed the end of the spring, causing it to be perpetually stuck in there. Because when I pulled this apart, it was stuck like that inside, and it took some effort to get it out. So all I've done is just snip that off, and hopefully that solves that problem. Though there is a very real risk that the BB now will not sit high enough into the chamber. That is going to require some testing on my part. And unfortunately you can't get parts of this anymore. This was knackered either way, but I may have to think of something else. The other issue, as I say, was that the bolt was scraping. So I don't know how well it's going to come up on camera here, but you can see this marred area here. And when I say scraping, I mean scraping along the receiver. The way that this is designed, there are no slip rings or anything like that. It is straight metal contact, and the edges of this receiver were so sharp that it was literally gouging into that bolt when you were pushing it forward. All it done is rounded off the edges and smoothed them out a little bit. So aesthetically, you shouldn't see much difference. It may look like a little bit of wear, but it should hopefully allow, with a proper lubricant in there, allow it to glide a little bit easier. Ideally, if I had the tooling, I would just bore out the entirety of this a little bit wider perhaps, and then refinish it. Or bore out certainly in here and add a slip ring. This was one of the main sections where it was catching. And then I would also do the same in here, just to allow it to continue to be central, but without the additional friction from it trying to grind it down. Even now, I can feel how sharp some of these edges are. Absolutely mental. So that's it for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a little bit of YouTube magic, a little bit of editing magic, and see if I can do the old clap cut. Should we go? Let's go with clap cut. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Alright, there we go. That worked. Magic. If only it was actually that easy to put it back together. It was not easy because there are no instructions on this, and yes, I can do a disassembly video on it, and in fact I do need to go back into it again because the feeding issues are kind of fixed but not quite, and I know how to fix it. The way to fix it is to use the spring that just so happened to be in the box. So the customer actually bought this second hand. They got it quite cheap. They certainly didn't pay the full 600 retail that this goes for, which, by the way, don't buy this unless you want an expensive wall hanger. If you can find it second hand at a reasonable price, do so. But don't buy this first hand. Fairly certain I said it, but I just want to make sure I did say it. This is the RWA Lee Enfield No.4. And it is not worth £600 at all. Don't do it. I mean, it's just so many issues with it all over. Just don't. Cool. So, what did they get right with this? This is one of the few where the magazine is the magazine. That is cool. The problem, though, is that they got everything else wrong. Charging handle, wrong. That's right, ish. On the real one, that pops out when you pull it back and then you start pushing forward. That is out, and then that's the firing pin. That would be a cool thing to see. Understand why they wouldn't. Trigger is slightly wrong. It's sharp is the best way to describe it. There's not that lovely, really nicely curved and beveled trigger. And I think the angle's slightly wrong from memory. The butt plate, wrong. You can put real butt plates on this. It is the right size and the holes are in the right place, but why would you? There are better ones than this out there. If memory serves, I think LCT or something, I think it was LCT. There is certainly one company which did a Lee Enfield. I might have been Gas, which was better. Oh, Silver Bolt again. That's an easy thing, right? They went to all this effort to make sure that the receiver was the right color, but they didn't do the bolt. Interestingly as well, every single one of these has a bulge in the middle, which is why it scrapes. And that's on every single one. The hop up as well. It's TDC. Cool. It's an AEG bucking though. Sorry, AEG rubber. And it goes directly onto it. If you don't know the difference between AEG and gas blowback ones are thicker. They can kind of put up with that. AEG ones are paper thin and they can't put up with that. The wood, I think it's some kind of a bamboo type wood that they've then painted and made to look somewhat like oak. Did they use oak in the original? I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments what wood they used on the original Lee Enfield. But you can sort of see it there. It's that horrible tiny dot grain that you see on really, really cheap woods. The sights as well. are slightly wrong. For the most part, they're okay. Certainly the adjustment is quite nice, but the actual hole itself, not how I remember it when I last saw it.
Oh, go on then. You can have a cheeky picture of me shooting the Lee Enfield there. That was when I was at uni. Oh, so young.
Oh, and it also uses an AG barrel, which is a choice. It does have the lugs for a bayonet though, so there's that. Overall, great wall hanger, great collectible, but that is it. You wouldn't feel this. It's just awful. And it was awful when it was released. And that's why you never see these, which is why I say it's rare, it's collectible, because it was just that bad. It was so bad. Everything about it is proprietary. None of this is compatible with VSR parts, for example. The hop-up is just, as I say, a grub screw. Although at some point, whoever's owned this has put a little rubber bucking. They've just turned it around so it's the cylinder is going down to the grub screw hole just to stop the grub screw directly contacting the hop rubber. Yeah. It's a real shame that there's not a decent version out there, really. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I'm going to try and make more videos where I come across interesting pieces like this, but obviously that's very luck dependent on people actually needing me to repair them. I am going to go back in and sort that feeding issue, and I may record it at the same time just so you can see the gotchas, and there are a lot of gotchas when it comes to taking this apart. So yeah, I'll do that video, I think, but that's going to have to wait for a bit because I've got something else to announce soon. Ooh, hype. It's a very, very big project that I've started. Anyway, that's not for this video. That will come in another video soon. Yeah, so don't forget, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I hate saying it, but it does help the YouTube algorithm, even just mentioning it. And that'll be it for this video. Catch you on the next one.